Awesome. I am super excited to welcome up Joy Young. Joy is an awesome person in Phoenix. She runs nights of performance nights. There's poetry, there's storytelling, there's all kinds of things that happen. She runs a night called Out of the Box in downtown Phoenix. She's also a slam poet and a person who literally creates Phoenix culture by hand and by the sweat of her brow. She's a super neat person. When she's done talking tonight, if you want to chat with her about any of her projects, or how you can follow her on Facebook, or just what the cool kids are doing these days in downtown, Joy can help you learn more about that. Without further ado, Joy Young, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lot of pressure. I don't think anyone's ever told me I'm one of the cool kids before. I am a slam poet. The best thing about slam is you come on the stage and there's no banter and then you run off. So you can catch me later, but I might also come off. Last summer, I had the amazing task of taking 6 really young poets to go compete nationally. It was the most exciting journey. They hired me, they paid me to workshop for months with 6 youth poets, and then entrusted me with their 6 lives, just me, to go all the way to Atlanta, Georgia for this competition. It was pretty much the peak of my experience as a performance and teaching artist so far. I mean, maybe you can offer me a better experience than that, but it'd be very, very difficult to top. And just when I thought I couldn't get more excited, I was so happy to go on this amazing journey, I got this email from my aunt, who lives in Atlanta, Georgia. She's my only family back out that way, that I'm aware of at least. And the email said, "Hey, I'm really excited you're coming to Atlanta, Georgia. You should come and see me while you're there, or I'll come and see you." And my heart sort of fell into the pit of my stomach. You see, my aunt from Georgia is the only reason I've ever been to a Southern Baptist revival in my life. And my aunt from Georgia is a person I haven't seen in 10 years since my sister had her wedding, which was also the last time that I was in a dress. So I'd not seen her in those 10 years, and this email kind of scared me. I just kind of pushed it off to like the back of my mind and tried to continue with my fervor for this event I was going to. A few days later, I get a call from my mom. And my first thought was, how did my mom get my phone number? And then my mom starts to tell me that my sister had given her my phone number after she had called her to see about my aunt, because my aunt had called my mom to see if I'd gotten the email. And then my mom had called my sister to get my phone number so she could call me to find out if I'd gotten the email. And I told her, yeah, I saw the email, I'm just real busy. I'll respond to the email when I can. And I wasn't sure if I'd be able to see my aunt when I was in Georgia, because I was sure we'd have a really busy itinerary when I got there. And then I got off the phone with my mom, and I sent my aunt a nice email. It just said, hey, I'm not 100% sure I'll have any time when I'm there. I mean, I am entrusted with 6 young people's lives. These are 6 high school students. It can get really messy. Like, people though are nervous about high school students, and even though I wasn't very nervous about mine, I thought, well, you know, if I say that, it'll be fine. And I get to Atlanta, Georgia, and the excitement is exactly what I imagined it would be. The youth I had brought are so excited. They've spent months preparing for this, and they've built these beautiful, beautiful poems, and they're some of the most exciting things I've ever helped people create before. And I look at the itinerary, and the itinerary is so packed. We get up for breakfast, and programming goes until midnight, sometimes 2 in the morning. We're there for 4 days, and it is just a very, very busy 4 days. And I thought, hooray, I won't even have to lie when I talk to my aunt. And I tell her, oh, I'm sorry, we can't meet for breakfast or coffee or anything, because I'm incredibly, incredibly busy. And a little more time passes, and I check my phone after I come out of a mandatory meeting that's somehow in a basement. And my aunt has called me, and I thought to myself, oh, amazing, we'll even just play phone tag. I won't even have to deal with the verbal sort of face-to-face feeling of like letting her down. Because I mean, we haven't seen each other in 10 years, and she doesn't have a lot of family out in Georgia, and there's definitely a little bit of guilt already creeping in. And I kind of kept wondering about what the phone call to my mom when I got home was going to be like, but I thought it was worth it to, you know, just kind of brush it by without it. And I start listening to this voicemail. And being a poet who does a lot of work that has to deals with like queer and feminist topics, I get a lot of weird messages and posts on my Facebook. And one of those weird posts on my Facebook was this woman who had seen an article about tampons and about how when you buy, like, that tampons can be bleached and it might not be good for you. And it proceeded, like, to make this thread about people talking about alternatives. And I had made some passing comments about how, like, oh, you can buy unbleached ones, and that's probably better for you, but then you have to go to a special store usually to buy them, and for some reason they cost more money even though they go through less processing, which is confusing, but they cost more, which is not a nice thing for something that took less effort to make, so I usually don't end up doing it. And my aunt's voicemail starts to talk about how, while I'm in Georgia, she really wants to see me, even if it's only for half an hour for coffee. It's a really sweet message. And then at the end of the message, she starts talking about how she saw y'all talking on YouTube on YouTube. She thought it was YouTube, but also Facebook. She'd seen it on Facebook. But she had said that she'd seen it on YouTube and that she had seen this conversation between me and a few of my friends about them, and she just really, really wanted to do something nice for me while I was there. And that she'd love to buy me some unbleached tampons. But she researched which ones I might want. But there were 3 different brands of these with the sizes they carried, and I would be comfortable just letting her know what size I could use and what I prefer. But she would just love to buy me some and bring them when she came to see me. And my aunt lives about 2 hours outside of the university we were staying at. We were staying at Emory University. And I hung up after listening to the message, and I just thought to myself, this message is so beautiful. I can't not have breakfast with my aunt. So I called her, we arranged to have breakfast at Waffle House, because when you're in Atlanta, Georgia, that's where you have breakfast. You can't skip Waffle House. So she comes and picks me up at 6:30 in the morning. I am a poet, you guys. We are night people. We are not morning people. But for my aunt, I got up at 6:30 in the morning, and we went to Waffle House. And we got there, and she ordered a sweet tea, because that's what we do in Georgia, and I ordered a coffee, because it was 6:30 in the morning. And we had this beautiful conversation, where there's all these things I had no idea about her, because she'd studied theater. And the first question she asked me was, hey, I have a question, and I don't want you to be offended. I got really nervous. And then she just asked me, how do you all do that thing on stage? Because I've known you since you were this little, and I can't imagine you on a stage. And I looked at her and I thought, that's the best question you could ask, because I have no idea how I managed the stage thing. You just have to see it, and it kind of works in this weird, awkward way. And it was a great moment to feel like she knew something about me, like that she knew me as a person. And we finished having this great meal, where she also talked about her work. My aunt's done all kinds of nonprofit work and hospice care and things like that. And I kind of talked a little bit about my work and how it kind of centers around social justice themes. And we had this strange, beautiful understanding that the work we were doing was something that she would probably call a calling that I just felt really compelled to do. And I don't think anyone else in our families kind of has that understanding of the work we do. Everyone else kind of does their job because they get paid to do their job, and we kind of have these jobs where you don't get paid a lot. I mean, who's a poet? No poet? No one's a poet. It's a weird job. But it means something to me. And her job means something to her. It just has a little bit more Jesus than my job. For me, at least. I know some poets who are very Jesus-y. But we finished up our meal together, which was about an hour and a half. And she drives me back to Emory University. And she hands me this giant brown bag. And I'm like, this is way too heavy. And I look inside, and inside there's 4 boxes, and those are for me, of tampons. And then there's little jars of boiled peanuts. And she got 6 of them, 1 for each of my students. And she'd written them a letter, this beautiful letter, inviting all of them, if they're ever in Georgia again, to enjoy her Southern hospitality. And she had sayings, little Southern sayings, so that they could guess what the Southern advice would ever get them. I don't even remember any of them. They were all so far-fetched. But it was this amazing experience of just learning that you could share a meal with someone so different from yourself and find a common ground that you would have never expected. And to this day, I haven't used any of the tampons